I feel like it's time for us to like go away from here, you know what I mean? Let's go to Africa. Yo, I've never been more serious in my life. Who says we can't go to Africa? That's our dream, to go to our homeland, where our roots are.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
We're taking our talents to Africa.
What? To Africa. What? To Ghana.
What? What? Oh my God, this is big news.
Traveling to Ghana? Do we have a stay for you? Off the Wheel is offering modern, comfortable, and safe apartment units, where beyond the usual tourist activities, you have the benefit of a more immersive experience. We provide a unique itinerary to explore local food and neighborhoods, visit nearby beaches, shop markets, and so many other attractions. Whether you're traveling solo or in a group, we can service from 1 to 16 travelers. Enjoy on-premise activities like a gym, tennis, pool, and more. Hosted by 2 former Brooklynites recently relocated, who'll be your on-premise attendants to support and guide you.
We can't wait to show you what life could be like off the wheel.
Looking forward to hosting you.
See you in Ghana. So we have Bridget here with us from WalBlue. This was the company we used on the other side of the shipping process. So I thought it would be useful to have someone who's experienced, who does this every day, all day, to come and give us some insight. So welcome, Bridget. Thanks for
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by. So what is your role at WalBlue? What do you do there?
Okay. I'm the accounts officer in WalBlue, and then I also deal with customer service as well. So accounts / customer service.
See, that sounds like paperworky, but you're actually at the ports.
Yes, because sometimes you need to do monitoring and controlling. You need to observe what is happening there, because sometimes the clients will call you and they want to know what is going on. So I always find myself there so I can keep the clients informed.
Okay. So you dealt with my container that came in at the Tema port. Are there any other ports in Ghana that I could have come through, or is that the only one?
Yes, you could have gone through the Takoradi port. That's because you are in Accra. It's better off to offload your container in Tema, but we have Takoradi as well.
Tema is about an hour and a half east of me. Takoradi is about 4 or 5 hours west of me. So that wouldn't make any sense, Takoradi.
No.
So Tema, so there are other ports. Tema just makes the most sense for people living in the city.
Yeah.
Okay. So from your experience, I know it's going to be tough, you deal with a lot of containers, but where do most of your containers come from? Can you give me the top 2 or 3 places of origin that containers come from? I mean, I was in New York in the States. What are your top 3 places of origin for containers?
Right. Top 3 is China. China is the most. US and then UK.
So I'm just curious, with the Chinese shipments coming in, that's probably mostly consumer goods to sell, right?
Yes, mostly they are furnitures and mostly is furniture.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good furniture or cheap furniture?
Oh, good furniture.
Good furniture?
Yeah, good furniture, because our clients are King's Deco, and they sell good furniture, so most people buy from them.
And they do 40-foot containers?
Yes, they bring in containers every month. They bring about five or six, wow. And people really buy from them. They have their location in Accra and Takoradi as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing on YouTube some people actually showed up at the ports to inspect their container as well. I was thinking about asking you to come to the ports, and I remember you saying that some parts of the port I would be able to go to, other parts I couldn't. Talk about that. What are the different parts of the port that people can access?
Okay, so basically we have about 2 terminals. We have the MPS and then we have the Jubilee. With MPS, even with the agents, they are being trained on how to walk in the port, where to go and what to even do. With the drivers as well, they are also trained. They enroll them on trainings to go to the ports and where to drive their truck and pick the containers. So for somebody like you, they wouldn't allow you to go there because you don't know the rules that runs through the place. So basically they have a small visitors room that you can be there, and then you sit and wait for the agents to do all the work they're supposed to do, and then once the container is out, you meet the agents there and then you move out. You are not allowed to go into the port. Anyone who allows you to go into the port is illegal. Yes.
But I did see some people doing illegal things in the port.
Yes, because it's not allowed at all. But with the Jubilee, you can go. Okay. Yeah, but with the MPS, it's quite difficult.
Okay. So, what about automobiles? Do you guys import cars, trucks, large equipment?
Yes, we do. So, 2 months ago, we cleared about 6 cars. It was the saloon cars we cleared. We've also cleared the big trucks. We also have some other, you know, the truck that they used to sell food in, food truck.
Those big square box vans.
Yes.
Like a SWAT van.
Yes.
Okay.
We cleared some of them also.
But those don't fit into the containers.
They do. They were actually in a container. 2 of them were in a 40-footer container.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was from China.
So, someone told me when I was shopping for shipping container companies that they were bringing a car here and I could stick my stuff in the same container that their car was in. I think they were trying to help me maybe avoid some kind of extra duties or customs taxes. Do you advise people to combine furniture and personal goods with automobiles?
Yes and no. Okay, so let me explain. When you put the goods in the car, once the car gets to the port, they do something called examination. They bring the car out, and then the custom officer pulls everything out of the car, and if the things in the car wasn't if the things in the car was not listed in the parking list, the custom officer would ask that they revalue they value all the things in the car. So if you have, let's say, if you have food items, everything will come out, and then they would value everything in it. So I would say it's not advisable to pack the things in the car. Just disclose everything in the container, and then the agent will put everything in the packing list so that everything will be declared to the customer, because whatever be the case, you'll be valued.
So I could have done that and I wouldn't have been doing anything illegal?
No.
Okay.
No.
I felt like it was a little underhanded, but okay. It was all good. Thanks. So most of the people who are watching this, whenever they're trying to determine if this is the way to go for them, shipping their stuff, they always want to know, what is an estimate? What can I expect to pay? Now, you had given me an estimate, and I felt like in the early part, on the other side, I was like in the dark, getting my stuff out of the States onto the ship, onto the Atlantic Ocean. At that point, I still didn't have an estimate, and I wasn't going to get an estimate until the ship got closer to you. You were able to see some information from the ship. So is that normal? Like, the American is in the dark until the last second on what the estimated costs would be? Because I was trying to also go on like the not the immigration, but the customs duty website to estimate it myself. They said 20% for this item, another 15% tax for that item. I couldn't figure it out. So is there a general rule of thumb that you can tell someone what their estimated charges are going to be?
Yes. Let me use your container as an example. You know, when you sent your packing list, we had to assess everything before we do the entry.
How was my packing list? It was pretty accurate, right?
It was, but we had to rearrange everything and then do it in the Ghanaian packing list form so that the custom officer will understand. So, you know, sometimes some of the things you can just group them into one item. So that's what we did for you. We had to group them so that it will be more understandable, because every item has a code. So we needed to separate all other items from each other so we could get a good value for you.
So this is important.
Yes.
People are going to be saying, what am I paying WalBlue for? Well, because when we're shipping stuff out, we're shipping it in a way that makes sense for us. Mm-hmm. What is in a box? What is in a tote? Etc. And there are duplicates because we're not, you know, like we were like living in our place while we were preparing our boxes. And so we might have had the same kind of item across 7 different things. One of them in those 3 boxes and then another one in those 3 totes. And so when Bridget gets it, she has to say, okay, I see these 7 things spread all over. I have to combine it so that it makes sense for us over here. So that's part of the work that they do on this side, filtering the data and segregating it in a way that is efficient once it gets over here.
Yeah. So with the estimation, usually we had problems with lots of clients when we give them the estimates. So what we normally do is we try to get the packing list, the commercial invoice, and then we would process your documents. Once that is done, a bill of entry is generated, and when that bill of entry is generated, we get a duty amount. So with that duty amount, we are able to give you the estimate of whatever you are going to pay. Usually when I tell the clients that, okay, we are supposed to pay 30,000 cedis without any proof, they don't like it that way. So I always want to have that document at hand, and then I add all the other stuff we are supposed to pay in the invoice and then give it to them. Because I usually do that because of some people don't understand, okay, this is estimated. If this is estimated, this is not the right value. So when the actual amounts come in is a bit high, they're like, why did you tell me this? Because I planned for this. So
yeah.
I always want to have the documents with me.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yes.
It's tough because on one hand, I want like a guide as to what the amount is going to be so I can start budgeting for it. But on the other hand, if you gave me a number and then your final number was higher, I'd feel a little upset about that as well.
Yeah, we've actually had cases that people didn't understand why the duty amount was 20,000 and then the next week it was 25,000. They had to actually take us to the police for that because they didn't believe us. They thought we were stealing from them. So we always want to have the documents at hand and then we give it to them. This is what you're supposed to pay, and then we don't have troubles or problems with them.
What I also find interesting that I've only learned since being on the other side here, living in Ghana, is that there's some kind of set currency price that you use to determine my final cost, and periodically through the year that foreign currency number changes. So you could give someone a quote and then that new number could change the quote as well, right? So there's a lot of moving parts, and so WalBlue is working with a lot of variables that don't stay still, dealing with the American who's like nervous about their container. So you guys deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of them. People who don't really trust our quotes, and people that trust our quotes. For you, I didn't have any problem like that, but I've had a lot of problems, especially with Americans, with why is it this, why is it not that, why are we doing that? And I always have to relax and then cool them down, explain where to work with them, give them receipts so they could understand everything better.
Was I your worst client?
No. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think I'll give you a 9.
As in bad or good?
Good.
Oh,
good.
wow.
Good.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Do you think it's possible for a customer to do the first part with a shipping company to get their stuff from their apartment or their home onto the ship, but do you think they can do the Ghana part on their own? If they were trying to save money, let's say.
No.
Have you seen someone try to do it on their own?
Yes.
You've seen that?
Yeah, I have. There were times that people consulted us and then we give them a price. And most people, when they come to Ghana, they ask people, how do we do this? How do we do that? We have people that will mislead you. So people were like, clearing agents will spend your money. They would lie to you about the pricing. So some of them decided that, okay, if I want to save some money, I wouldn't go through a clearing agent. If you don't go through a clearing agent, you will not be able to clear your container because you are supposed to use an agent to clear your container. So there were instances that there was a lady from the US. She shipped her container to Ghana. She came to me, I explained everything to her, and then she went back. And she went back thinking she could do her own stuff. She went to the port, she got to the port and she didn't know where to go. She didn't know who to ask, and she kept seeing people moving about, and she stopped someone and the person asked, "How may I help you?" And she said she has a container in there, so she wants to go and pick it up. And they're like, it doesn't work that way. You need to have an agent. So in Tema Ports, we have people that they say, "Can I help you?" It's a term they use. They are also clearing agents using people's ID to clear people's container. But when you run through them, you might end up paying more because they will lie to you about it. They are not genuine people. So I would also advise that they don't. Anytime you want to clear a container, you don't go to the port looking for an agent. It's not the best for you. You can even lose your container or even lose your money. So she got to the place and she didn't get anybody to clear the container. The guy said he could help and she should bring this amount of money, and she didn't understand anything. She came back home, she called me and she said, "Bridget, I can't do this. Can you help me?" So then she told me that she went to the port to clear the container, and I was like, "No, we don't do it that way." So I had to help her again.
Can a customer use any shipping company that they find in America to then work with you? I came through you kind of with one of your partner shipping companies, but I'm wondering, out of the 30 that I started out with, would you have worked with any of them?
Yes. We have clients that just contact us, that they have their bill of lading is ready, so they want us to clear their container for them. As to how they did the shipment, I have no idea. So yes, you can just do your shipment and then send us your bill of lading and we'll run the process for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there one thing that customers do that you wish they didn't do?
Yes. So usually it's all about the packing list. They need to tell me everything in the container. I had a problem with a client who didn't say that there was what was it? Is it a canoe?
What's that?
It was like a boat, like a small boat.
Oh, like a canoe?
Yeah.
He packed a canoe and didn't put it on the list?
Yes, she didn't declare it. And when it got to the port, it wasn't on the bill entry, and the custom officer said, "Why didn't we say such a thing?" Because it took half of the container. And the guys clearing the container called me and then asked, "Did you know there was a canoe in the container?" I didn't know. So I quickly called her and I asked her, "Was there a canoe in the container?" "Oh yes, I forgot to tell you." And that was really a big problem. We actually took 2 days to clear the container because they pushed the container somewhere and they told us to do another entry. So we had to spend another time doing the entry so they could value the canoe. So it really pissed me off because...
Do you think it was on purpose or was it a mistake?
Yes, because she said that someone advised her that if you say all the things in the container, you would pay more duty. So you need to hide some of them.
Yeah. Let's try hiding the biggest thing in the container. Let's see how that works out.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
So some of the little things you can take it out, but the bigger things you should show it.
Okay. I want to say thanks to Bridget for sitting down and answering some of the questions that a lot of you viewers have, questions that I wish I knew the answer to before I started my shipping journey. Would have helped out a lot for me. So one last time, you work for who? What's the name of the company that you work for?
WalBlue Transport and Maritime Service.
WalBlue Transport and Maritime Service.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to vouch for the first half of my shipping experience. You already know what I refer to them as in the earlier part of the video, but I will vouch for WalBlue on the second leg, the last leg of your shipping experience. You should definitely consider them, if not use them, because I used them, and it was as good of an experience as one can have, being as nervous and anxious as we would be shipping our entire life overseas. So thanks again, Bridget, for stopping by.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And thanks for having me as well.
Okay.
You're moving, Africa. The music, Africa. You're moving, Africa. You wear clothes, Africa. You wear clothes, Africa. You're dancing, Africa. You're dancing, Africa. You're prancing, Africa. You're prancing, Africa. Romancing, Africa. You're going, Africa. You're going, Africa. You're going, Africa.